Wow, pillow shams.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. That's some nightmare fuel there. And Wes, I did see a photo. I did see a photo of you doing a little reselling arm rubbing, a little shoulder rubbing with the bigwigs there a little bit. I did see a picture.
Hey everyone, it's just me, so everyone's left. Wes and Johnny have both left the building.
That's pretty good, Johnny. You had me at hello.
I noticed Wes's tan just slowly fading as the show went on. No, I saw that picture. I thought that was pretty cool.
Here, I'll go ahead and put it up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. There you go. Good group of people right there.
I don't see it.
Just go with it, Stewart.
Just to be added later.
Make sure I use that touch-up appearance if we're going to be live. I need a makeup person.
Stat. Well, welcome back again, everyone, to the Finders Flippers Resell podcast. And in the house, once again, is Johnny, Stewart, and Wes. Gentlemen, how you doing again this evening?
What is going on, guys?
From the beach, Wes, you look nice and tan.
Yeah,
I went out and got me a little tan, little suntan. Got burned in a few places. Doing pretty good, though. Had a great week off.
Now you have your lawn mowing farmer's tan to just top it off. Now that we are rolling, we have to say special thanks to our new subscribers. We continue to grow. And so thank you to all the new subscribers and, of course, the OGs as well. And if this is your first time at the Finders Flippers podcast, welcome. Welcome aboard.
So I know all this podcast stuff looks like smooth sailing, but the viewers weren't treated to the last 30 minutes of us going through logo updates.
Yeah, we spent more time on our background than we will on this episode.
Well, it's all about trying to get better, look better, and feel better, right?
Why don't we just give the viewers a taste of that there, Wes? Okay.
So, Johnny, would you like to, since you're the one that made these, would you like to talk about each one of those? And we'll let the viewers decide.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a creation brought to you by Canva, not sponsored.
Let's talk about this first one.
So what I was going for here was very dungeon-y, very drab. I think I sent this on the lowest pixel setting you could possibly have. And it just,
I think this one came through a text, did it not?
Yeah, this one came through a text. It's actually giving me the movie Saw vibes now that I'm looking at this, and I'm actually a little intimidated by this.
Yeah, don't adjust your glasses so it's
let me see. It may be blurry.
Yeah, it is still blurry.
All right, so that was candidate number one.
Number one.
Behind door number two we have.
No, a lot clearer.
The same background. I think people were like expecting this big change, but really we just moved the logos around. But with the logos not being so blurry, it's less of a Saw vibe. It's a little classier. It may still be it's very masculine, which I appreciate.
And like you just said, we have to keep it classy, right?
That's right. That's right. This is a top tier. This is top. We're no longer the worst reselling podcast. Well, we may still be, but we're better.
We're moving on up. We're trying to move on up.
The only issue I saw with this one was the arrows cut off a little bit, but Johnny, being the perfectionist that he is, I think he can fix it.
I wouldn't stop there.
So, and then we go on behind door number three.
And just a little more subtle. I think it draws more attention to Stewart, which for the razzing that he's taken the last couple weeks, I think is well deserved. Just give him some positive.
It's like telling people to like me. So hey,
guys,
like Stewart,
like me, subscribe to the podcast. Right?
That's right.
He has taken it pretty good the last couple of weeks, Johnny. I will give him that. Of course,
yeah,
when you are employee of the month, though, there's certain things that come with that, right?
You know,
we're definitely working with an ego.
I lost it for this first week of June. Yeah, I can maybe for the next episode I'll bring up some pictures of potential candidates.
Okay, works for me.
There's not a lot in the house. There's myself, there's my wife Amy, and there's our dog Sam. And then I do have a daughter in town, so that would be the extent of the candidates there. So yeah, we'll see.
I think tonight on this podcast we're going to jump into some things that we sourced over this past weekend. I actually got into a couple of estate sales, which did pretty well with. I'm going to show you one, and I'm not sure if you all have ever sold these, but I guarantee you've even looked at them. But this one's a special edition. Okay, you ready? Look at that.
What's that, Billy Big Mouth? What's he called? Big Mouth Bass.
Yeah, but listen.
What did that run you?
You'll need to disclose that in the listing, Wes. The head does not turn.
It does not. That cost me a grand total of $3.
It's funny you start off with that because that sets very much a redneck vibe, which I've got very much some redneck things to show as well.
Well, go ahead. We'll just keep circling around. We'll pick one, and then we'll go on to the next person.
All right. Well, this was kind of a trifecta of, I don't know, is Alabama considered a redneck band?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have the trucker hat from the 6th annual June Jam, which was like 1987, I think this one.
Nice.
And then to go along with that, I also got the, actually it was 86, I guess. No, this was 5. So that one was 86 or 87. Then I have the bumper sticker from 86. June Jam 5. And then they got the official, I guess it's like the tour book with the picture of Alabama in it. I've actually already listed the trucker's hat, and I think I listed it for like 25 or something. I haven't listed the bumper sticker or the book, but yeah, so very much continuing in our redneck theme there.
Stewart, I feel like that Alabama hat would look good on you.
Slip it on there.
It didn't look like it ever been worn, so I didn't really want to mess it up.
You can just put it in front of your forehead.
Yeah. Just hold it like,
now say this. 10-4, good buddy.
Yeah.
You're like Jerry Reed now.
Wow.
Eastbound and down, buddy.
Eastbound and down.
I want a Bush Light all of a sudden. Is that weird? Anybody else?
Now, I'm gonna piggyback onto that, Stewart. Back in 1988, I saw Alabama up in Johnson City. I was trying to remember the name of where it was, but I cannot remember it. And their lead act was Eddie Rabbit. Johnny, you know what famous song? Yeah, Johnny. I was going to say, Johnny, you know what famous song Eddie Rabbit sang?
I love the rainy nights.
I love a rainy night. Yep, that's it. Good show.
So in 1988, I actually saw my kindergarten teacher perform. The wheels on the bus go round and round. So that was the concert I went to in '88. That was my June Jam 5.
All right, Johnny, what you got?
All right. You guys are not going to see this one coming. Look at this.
Wow.
Cast iron, like cricket bank.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a bank. Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm afraid to like use it, but it like goes back. I'm actually very afraid to like actually use it, but
that's cool. So have you tried to throw a coin yet?
No, I'm too afraid to like play with it. But do you guys ever have where like you're outsourcing and you comp something and you're like, oh, this sells for $1 million. And then you get home and you're like, I lost money. That is what happened to me. So
That's a lot of the time, Johnny.
So Frizz and I went to Boone this weekend and we just thrifted throughout Boone and just kind of got our mountain on. And we were in a Goodwill and I saw this and I was like, this is legit like cast iron. It's super heavy. And the hardest part is it still has the stopper, right? Like a lot of times you find old banks and they don't have the stoppers anymore, right?
Now, did you open it up and check for any coins?
No, but I think I got about 12 cents back of this. So this is good.
That works.
So the thrift store is packed and I just take a Google Lens real quick and I see a sold comp for $125 and they wanted 8. So got it, brought it home, went to list it, started looking up comps again. I cannot find that $125 comp anymore, and they're all $25. So it may just stay in my man cave and just hang out.
I like it.
Speaking of comps, have y'all seen where the eBay app now has the product research built in, so you don't just have to like do the sold comps that show you like the last 3 months. Now you can go back like the whole 3 years. You used to could only do it on the computer, but they've added it to the app now, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
You can do a little bit more in depth because it keeps you away from. I'm like you, Johnny. Sometimes when I'm searching just eBay, like through the sold listings on my phone, I'll see stuff that when I get home, it's not there anymore or whatever. So.
Do you think, Stewart, with that, because like we've been reselling for a little over 2 years, right? So we really started end of the pandemic, if not pandemic over. But do you think going back like 3 or 4 years is actually kind of like a bad idea? Just because those COVID numbers are so skewed from like, oh, everybody's buying categories for, $75 and.
Yeah, I mean, I think for certain things like that, like jigsaw puzzles would probably be another one that, the numbers are probably skewed. But for collectibles and things like I sell, I think you can get a pretty good idea. Now, obviously you give more weight to things that have sold recently. But, the nice thing on the product research versus just the sold stuff, if it's something that doesn't sell a lot or, there's not been a lot of solds, you might not see anything even listed when you just look in the eBay app. But if you use the selling or the product research, it's going to go back and you can see, hey, only one of these is sold in the last 5 years and it was, sold for $200 or whatever. So yeah. I think you kind of got to use them in conjunction with each other. And, and to be honest, I've been doing like the kind of stuff I buy long enough. If something's under $3, I don't even take the time to comp it usually. I just get it and, knowing you're not going to lose money. And because then, by the time you comp it, you've missed buying something else that somebody's grabbed. So
yeah.
So do you think, one question, Johnny, do you think how old do you think that bank is? It's like a repop or is it?
No, I would say yes, but it's so heavy and the screws on it just look old. I didn't see any dates on it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with that cast iron stuff is so reproduced. It's just really hard to tell sometimes. Like there's I don't know if you've heard of this place, Wes, but down in Chattanooga, right outside Chattanooga, there's this place called the Chicken Coop, and that's all they do, sell reproductions like of not just cast iron, but pretty much any old antiques. And and they're like a legit company kind of. They're selling them. They're selling them supposedly to people who collect that kind of stuff. But I know like the auction house where I used to go they would go down there and buy a bunch of stuff and sell it, like it was old. But
well, I guess it has Phillip head screws on it, so
yeah. So it's
I guess
newer.
that would, yeah.
But it's still a cool piece. Like that's the kind of thing. Like I would stick it in my booth and could probably get $40 or $50 for it. Just because it's kind of an impulse buy and it's a cool item. So
I may need to take out rent in a booth just to sell it and then close my booth after 1 month.
Well, what you need to do is do what I'm going to do with my Beanie Babies. We're just going to let him sell them in his booth.
We need to get together still on that.
I'm going to open a booth, just put this on a table, and then as soon as this sells, I close my booth down.
Please give me enough to
That's not going to work on that, Johnny.
But I'm going to say it's a Franklin Hills venture booth. That's what I'm going to say.
All right, so Stewart, I need your expertise on my next one. Since is it my turn to go next, or who?
Yes,
it's always your turn.
Okay, no, it's never my turn. That's why I politely asked. Okay, all right, so here's my next one. Okay, I know you're all like, Wes, it's a coffee mug. But
is it on an angle?
It's just a coffee mug.
It's not on an angle?
No, it's the light hitting it.
Oh,
but,
I kept waiting for you to show us a logo or something.
No, well, I can, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slide it back in the box because it's a part of a set.
Ooh.
Okay, that's why I went ahead and just did that for you.
I do have a guess.
What?
because we actually just sold a couple plates that had the same kind of vibe, and it's giving me Fiesta wear vibe.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Johnny is the grand prize winner. Check that out.
That's awesome. In the box still?
In the box still, dude. New. This is not the only one. I've got 5 sets of these.
Scarlet.
Sweet.
Is that Scarlet's the color? I don't know if I've seen that exact color.
Yeah, it's.
Now, what's the logo? What's the logo look on the on the bottom of that one?
Hold on, let me find out.
Fiesta wear sells, but typically people are looking for the older pieces.
Yeah, this one. I've got this one. I've got a plum, which is purple, obviously. Shamrock. I've got 2 shamrocks, and I've got a tangerine. Got 5 boxes of this stuff, and the MSRP on it is $50, brand new in the box, and these have never been used.
That's pretty awesome. I've never seen them in a box before.
Yeah. So excited about that. Who's up?
All right, I think that's me. So yeah, then just I guess all this stuff that you're looking at today, I got it the same. Well, they called it an estate sale, but it wasn't an estate sale company. It was just a private individual selling stuff out of their house. But they had their whole. I guess the lady who lived there, her husband had died, and she was there, and they traveled the whole U.S. and had all kind of like U.S. souvenirs and things of that nature. But this was another thing I picked up, and belt buckles always do really well. And then a Colt revolver is probably going to do, that's probably easily $20, I would guess. So,
what did you pay for it?
I think I paid like $1. So I really didn't pay much more than $1 for anything I got. I think I spent $44 at the wholesale, and I have like 2 whole boxes of stuff. So my cost of goods sold is going to end up being about $1 a piece in each one.
Did you guys have a lot of garage sales this weekend? Like ours, we didn't have any in town.
No, it rained a lot, but
right. Well, yeah. And I was coming back up, from Florida on Saturday, and I didn't see any yard sales. I think I saw one the whole trip back.
I did see a photo of you doing a little reselling arm rubbing, a little shoulder rubbing with the bigwigs there a little bit. I did see a picture. I did see Mike, friend of the show for sure, and David Beckham. Did you meet David Beckham?
I actually did meet David Beckham, yes. Now, David's been on, if you remember, Johnny, he was also on our podcast the night that Stewart had to go take care of his father.
See, I block out, when Stewart's not here, I just block it out of my memory. I don't like those shows.
But Mike, Death Pile Picker, and David Beckham both, they were really close to where I was staying at the beach. And so we got together and just said, hey, if y'all want to go eat one night, let me know. So we ended up going over to Rudy's barbecue over there in Panama City Beach, and we got to have some good fellowship with those gentlemen. Cool. It was fun to meet them face to face, but yeah, for sure.
Stewart and I were just deciding on, if we were just being cut out, if we were being replaced, and what we might call our new podcast, but. We weren't
all
jealous.
About vicinity. All about.
We weren't
vicinity.
Jealous. It's okay.
All of us need to meet, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Stewart, how do you feel about Wes meeting up with Mike? But like, you live down the street from him.
Yeah, I know. Wes and I have done really good about talking about getting together, but we get.
Yeah, now we've got a great "let's talk about it" game going. Well, when Mike got a hold of me, he said, we're going to make it happen. I said, okay. I was on vacation. I had not a care in the world. I'm just sitting on the beach. Got to meet their wives as well. Yeah. Yeah, they're all good people.
That's really cool. That's awesome, though. No, I saw that picture. I thought that was pretty cool.
Here, I'll go ahead and put it up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. There you go. Good group of people right there.
I don't see it.
Just go with it, Stewart.
Just to be added later. Oh boy, that's a blooper real big time. I don't see it.
I don't normally dabble in the plush world. But when I do, it's for Five Nights at Freddy's stuff.
Oh, Okay.
So we picked up 10 different plush, all Five Nights at Freddy's at Goodwill. They were $3 a piece, which to me is pretty high. But this guy here has sold comps of $120.
Oh, wow.
So I lotted them. I took the 10 that I got, so $3 a piece, $30 into it. I took the 10 and put them on eBay for 300. I'm really hoping to get like 175. I just am shooting for the sky right now because I feel like the kind of Five Night Freddy collector is like a college kid that just wants to burn through their credit card real bad, and that maybe they'll overpay by like $100. But still hoping to get, like I said, like almost $200 for them. So I don't normally touch plush, but Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, my next one, I'm gonna do a nostalgic kick, but it's also for what's going on nowadays. What do you all know? What the current selling cup is? The big craze cup that's going on right now.
Like the Stanley Cups?
Yes, the Stanleys. Well, check this out, boys.
Oh, the OG.
Yeah, check that out. I don't know if you can see it. Stanley.
Yeah, those are cool.
It worked.
Sure, that once held some soup at some point, and it's like,
Yeah, pour it up. Stewart, your turn.
all right. So I'm not sure how well these will sell, but they're all so. I do really well with these like specialty books. So I have 3 books that were put out by TVA about the different dam projects. So I have the Douglas Project, the Kentucky Project, and the Cherokee Project. And I found no sold comps on these, but I found a couple I'm listed for like in the 200s.
That's
But
awesome.
if you look, I mean, they're technical reports on when they built the dams. So this was technical report number 10 from 1949. I paid 50 cents a piece for them. So figured it was worth a chance. But I mean, anytime you see these, like any kind of technical books that are vintage, they generally sell pretty well, whether it's old textbooks. So if you can grab them for 50 cents a buck, $2, then it's usually worth going with it. So yeah, I'll be curious to see what I end up able to get for those. I'll probably lot them up and, put a couple $100 on them and kind of like Johnny. And then, knowing what I got in it, I can come down. So
Yeah.
hopefully nobody's watching this who wants to buy them.
So, Stewart, would you?
I say 50 cents. I mean, I paid $50 a piece.
So, Stewart, would you say the damn books sell well?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully a damn man will buy them.
Somebody who really just damn.
Like, did you see Vegas Vacation? It's like,
Yeah.
and then cousin he goes, "Where can I get me some damn bait?"
Okay, so Stewart, you made me think of this, so I had to pull it out. I found a book as well, which I know nothing about, but I saw a sold comp. When we were thrifting in Boone, we went to this like women's club thrift store. It was like some women's group that ran the thrift store. Well, the whole store is nothing but women's clothing. And then there's like a little corner of books. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess this is where I'm going to be spending the next half hour. So I went through and found this book that just seemed very nice. Well, it's called the Ode to Show Hondo. And it's just like you open up inside and it's just all whatever Show Hondo is. But there was a sold comp, one sold, none listed, $110.
Cool.
And I picked it up for $2.
Nice.
But the whole time I was holding it in the store, I was worried that the cashier was going to ask me about it. Like, oh, you like old Oriental books? And I was going to have to be like, yes. But really, I just wanted to sell it.
All right, so we are at the final round of our show and tell episode. Okay, I've got to first of all, I'm going to show you this without plugging it in yet. Check this out, boys.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
badass right here.
What is Wolf?
Wolf is a dairy, evidently a dairy. I don't know if they're still in business, but this clock is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I mean, it's fantastic. It sat in the man's shop for years. Of course, now he's passed away, and he was just selling his dad's stuff off. It had dust on it, and I brought it home and just put a little elbow grease to it, and it has cleaned up wonderfully. And I told my wife, I said, well, it may light up. So we opened it up. It's got 7.5 watt bulbs in it. They were both out. Let me, we went and found some at Lowe's. So here you go. Check this out.
Cool.
Yeah, that's sharp.
So does the Wolf howl on the hour too?
That's a good question. I haven't had it running on the hours. But I found one sold comp, and it was Wolf. It looked like this, but it was a round one. It had the same logo, and it said Wolf Dairies on it. It was a sold comp for $1,200.
Yes. Yes.
So
that's awesome.
If it don't sell, I've got me a nice man cave piece, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a nice piece.
But you can see it running, see it?
Yeah, it's really sharp. When do you think it's from?
Good question. My mom said she remembered Wolf Dairy. So that's a great question. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on it to really figure it out, but maybe somebody could put something for me down in the comments and let us know a little bit more about Wolf Enterprises, Wolf Dairies. But yeah, I was super glad to pick this thing up this weekend.
Yeah. And it's smooth too. I mean, it's running smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Go fast and show a couple of things I had here, but y'all know what these are? They're like tool tags, so an employee would carry these, and then when they go to check out a tool, they'd give them to the place at their work. So these are TVA, and it's funny, I just sold some GM tool tags like this for there were just about as many as this, and I think I sold them for $35 or $40. So I think, it's another thing. It was in that same house. They obviously maybe worked for TVA or something, so they had the TVA books, and then I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I thought it was cool. They're owl pillow shams.
Oh, wow. Wow.
They look very 70-ish.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
There was a pair of those.
I started thinking the Tootsie Roll Pop. A 1, a 2, a 3.
And then the last thing I'll show, I know I'm cheating by showing all this. I did find this old skateboard from the 60s. It's a roller derby. And just the plain wood ones like this, some of the cops I found were like $30, $40. Now this one does have, a few little dings and stuff, but still, I guess a piece of history back from when skateboards were first getting started. Yeah, and all that came from the same house, so they had a lot of cool stuff. I also got a bunch of, I deal in a lot in the collectible plates, the state, that have the state maps and flowers and all that, and I probably got 15 or 20 of those as well.
Do those just move in the booth?
No, I sell those online actually.
Really?
So I think I paid 50 cents to $1 for each one of the plates, and then I sell them for usually between $18 and $20, but with free shipping, so I make like $9. By the time I pay fees and stuff, I usually make like $9 or $10 a plate. So,
do they because you always hear collectible plates, don't touch them, but I mean, obviously you would know more of what to look for, but
any of these kind of plates, that, I mean, there is definitely a market for them. I mean, they don't sell for a lot, so you've got to get them like $1 is about as much as I'll ever pay for them. But it's good. It's good filler for the online stores, and they do move pretty well. It's like at the last estate sale, I may have mentioned this on one of the last episodes, I bought like 50 of the metal trays. They're just like those state plates. They have the same state map design, but they're those black metal trays with the gold design. And I paid like less than $1 a piece for those, and I think I've already sold like 4 of them at like 25 each. So they sell pretty well too. Any of the like old road, like I call them like roadside souvenirs. People seem to like those sort of things, and I just think they're cool.
Well, Johnny,
So what if
you've got the last item of the night for our show and tell show.
We went to this garage sale. There were 2 garage sales in all of Boone while we were there. And the first one we went to was in like the clubhouse of a subdivision. And it said like multiple houses. So you already know how great that's going to be. So we get there, we walk into the clubhouse, and there's these 2 tables, and there's just somebody's DVD collection just spread out on all these tables. So we're like, okay, well, this was a bust. So we're driving back into town, and we see a sign for a flea market, and we're like, all right, let's go. So we pop in through this like backwood 1 lane, like we don't even know where we're at. And there's just this like little flea market village that you can tell that people just close up like Sunday at 5, and then they just reopen it on Saturday, and it just kind of sticks to the elements. Well, we got there, and we're going through all the booths, and this one lady is like trying to sell us her fudge that she makes at home. And I look over to the side, and she's got a tailor-made bag just full of clubs. And I'm like peeking, and I'm like, there's like 2 full sets here. So I just asked her, like, what do you want for the golf clubs? And she's like, those, I don't know, $30. Well, there's a full set, 2-iron through pitching wedge with a sand wedge, a loft wedge. There's another wedge in there. So it's like 12 clubs. And then there's like 8 clubs to make a second set. I looked up comps, like I'll get over $200 for just the clubs and still have a bag. So I would show you golf clubs, but they're bulky.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, so golf clubs, but they're tailor-made tour clubs, oversized. And yeah, we're going to make like over $200 off of it.
Nice.
Now, have you shipped golf clubs before, Johnny?
Yeah, I keep.
What size box do they fit in?
So I use the 48 by well, it's technically a 48 by 6 by 6, and then I cut it down. But it ends up obviously being like usually like 36 by 7 by 7. And then if I'm sending a set of clubs, it's usually like 8 pounds or so. But like a single golf club's usually like 2 pounds.
So do you get into like a surcharge for any length over 24 inches?
So anything long like that, I ship UPS ground.
Okay, because you don't run into that USPS surcharge.
Yeah, and it's usually like a golf club is usually like 15 plus or minus, depending upon where it's going to ship the club.
So the shipping's probably similar whether you're shipping 1 or 2 clubs or 3 clubs.
Yeah, it's really the length.
Weight, probably.
Yeah, the weight doesn't do much to the price. I mean, obviously it goes up the heavier it is, but there's huge differences between like 36 inches and 37 inches and 38 inches. So you really have to like keep it tight. And then as long as it's not going, to California, you can usually get out pretty cheap. But I'm sure like it's same thing like with you, Stewart, like, we joke about you shipping breakables, but if you have the materials for it, and you have the box for it already, it's not as big of a chore as like we sold a suitcase the other day. And I was like, where the hell am I going to find a box for a suitcase, for a suitcase? So then it's a big deal where if you have the supplies, you have the wrap or whatever, like golf clubs are no big deal because we have the boxes for it. I noticed Wes's tan just slowly fading as the show went on.
It's because the light is fading outside. Because I'm like you, John. I'm looking at my back door windows right here, right now.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
Trying to grab the light as much as I can. But
make sure I use that touch-up appearance if we're going to be live. I need a makeup person.
Stat. Well, that is all the time that we have tonight on the Finders Flippers Resell podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Gentlemen, that was a fun one. a little different tonight, going around the horn and doing our show and tell. I really enjoyed this evening's show.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, and speaking of special episodes, I know we have a busy June. We're going to have the Consignment Chats lady on one episode, and then we're going to be over on the $1 Million Peddlers channel 1 week in June as well. So looking forward to those. Everybody make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see everybody next time.
Have a great evening, gentlemen.
Bye, guys.